Okay, so let's start our project. Um, and I think you could probably follow, even if you don't want to follow the battleship, but anything goes, I suppose. But I highly suggest doing the something very similar first, and then maybe break it to something else halfway through once you get an idea, or just restart once everything makes sense. But first thing first, Nuke Studio. So I prefer Nuke Studio. It's fairly easy to use, I think. You can get this from, so this is not a tutorial for Nuke Studio, obviously. Um, let's start a new project, I suppose. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start a new project under my projects folder. Okay, overall, it's going to be Battleship Studio oriented, I suppose. Okay, or anything. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to copy this reference folder that I have, which is this one I'm interested. Copy, paste. Okay, and then I'm going to create a new folder called edit as well. This is copying. Okay, it's done. Name, edit. Okay, so now let's start a new project. So it will be new project. Oops, I already started. Let's close all the projects actually. Close, close, close. File, new project. Too many new projects. Okay, and I want a new sequence, and I want to import my edit. Oh, actually, before any of those, let's make sure under the actually for those who's wondering, the Foundry Nuke Studio. This is where you can get your Nuke Studio from. Just try for free, register, and you can get a non-commercial edition. Um, there's plenty of things to learn here. This is an entirely a different level of beast, so I suggest you guys just try to understand how this works. I think if you just download the non-commercial, will come and follow the instructions. You need to register, and you get your non-commercial settings. And then I'm gonna just edit the project settings. I would like to call my, let's get the project directory. So I'd like to set these separately. So I got it here. I'm gonna call the project directory here. This is my root project directory is the edit, and then I'm gonna call the name. Yes, I'm gonna call the name Battleship SO. Here you can define the resolutions. You can set if the clips are not formatted properly. You can define your formats. You can define your color space, so on and so forth. ACE 1.2, that's fine. Um, that's it really. And I'm gonna now import my file from my reference folder, which is this. And basically the first thing I did was just drag and drop this to your sequencer. Now we need to define, select, is gonna be sRGB because this was downloaded from the internet, fan video. Okay, so now we have a full edit, right? Basically what I did was decided which shots I want to recreate. And I believe it starts from here. So I just went to the first frame, and I'm gonna do this only for 2 shots, not the entire thing. And then you just get this like a razor here. I think this used by clicking on a desired track and timeline, and it's going to cut it. Okay, now I don't need the beginning, and then you can select the empty area, hit delete, and it will pull it to the beginning of the start. Okay, now that's going to be my first shot, which means I need to figure out where it ends. Let's go back a little bit more. Okay, there it is. Let's cut it again. Okay, that's my first shot. Now, that's my second shot, but there's none VFX. Actually, let's make it simple. That's my second shot. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we're not using this as a shot. Didn't pick that one for whatever reason. We're gonna get rid of that one. This is one of the shots we picked as well. But not this one, not this one, not this one. These guys at ILM did amazing work. I was a big fan of this movie. Okay, then we took this shot. Let's clear this gap. And here. Don't have this one. Don't have this one. Don't have this one, obviously. Don't have this one. Cut. Okay, so I'm not going to continue with the rest. I guess you guys can do the same. Now, the the idea is to kind of create a good representation of how to structure this, right? So if you were working, if you were doing even freelance, if you were going to sequence, you still should work the same way, right? It takes 10 minutes to set that up. So let's say I'm going to do only these many shots. So I don't need this part, which you guys will have to do because for the rest of the sequence. Now in Nuke Studio, you can right click editorial. No, not here. Sorry. You select all, I believe. Right click editorial, rename shots. So I name them. It remembers how I named them, and it starts with 10, with the increments of 10, right? So it's going to create these new folders. Right, so these are now shots called BS10, BS20, BS30, 40, 50, 60, and there's this guy. There's no VFX for this one. There's the VFX for this one. There's no VFX. So the next thing you do is you right click. I mean, that's adjusting the frame ranges for these ones, okay? They will follow the whatever frame number they have here. We're just going to offset our start frames in our compositing when we load the render. So right click on a shot. Now, actually, you could probably do something like this. So I have BS10. Okay. I have tools for creating these automatically too, but this is not a pipeline tutorial, so I don't think it's going to be next because it requires whole another level of creating config files, which we don't need. Create folder. So we didn't need BS20. No, actually, we don't need BS20. We need 30. 50 and 60. Okay. We need 30. Sorry, 50 and 60. 40. Short memory. 50 and 60. Okay. Now we need this frame numbers as well, so it's going to be important to kind of like get those done, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the first shot. Then I'm going to say create comp. Okay, it's going to create an empty nuke scene for me. I'm going to dive inside. Now I'm going to do a little math here so we can create the config file. So I'm going to go here again. Where's my real scene folder? Up here. Okay, so obviously when I record it's a little bit more dirty, but this is going to be a bit better. So create a folder, call it config, create another folder. This is empty, yes, and call it scripts. Okay, let's go inside the config folder. I'm going to copy this config file. Okay, let's open this file now. Okay, so let's bring our calculator. Okay, so actually maybe I'll do this like half. Okay, so the first shot, we didn't normalize the frame ranges. Ideally, it would be better if you know, set the frame ranges of your project to the proper appropriate values. I actually don't know how to do this in Nuke, so that's why in Nuke Studio at least. So I'm just using the whole frame range, just offsetting my renders. So this one is finishing at 1649 and starting at 1575, right? This one is called 10. So 1649 minus 1575, 74. So start frame is 1001 plus 1001. Our end frame is 1075. So let's just write it here. Okay. And this is BS10. Now the next one is BS30. So let's go here. Okay. And now if you create a new camera, oh, sorry, new comp, dive inside here, and then I can, let's do the same thing here. So oh, this is not the shot, sorry, BS30, BS40. I'm gonna undo this. Create comp. Next one is BS40. Wait, what happened here? Oh, we did something. Yeah, it was correct. Okay, create comp again. Go inside BS30. It was the first frame that we did wrong, so we're gonna fix that now. So the first frame is 1723. Let's get the calculator. So 1782 minus 1723 plus 1001. So this is BS30. and this one is the 1060. So we're doing a little bit editorial work here. And if we continue, then 40 is empty. We're gonna do the 50 and 60, right? So let's right click, create comp here as well. Dive inside. And you can just continue to do the rest. It's important with JSONs to have to make sure that you have the correct formatting. Otherwise, things will come apart, like tabs and like that will work, I think, but it's still good to have it as clean as possible. Uh, I'm using VS Code. Use whatever you wish. This is not correct because gonna need a this. Okay, this is extra. No, it just needs a comma, so it will register the next one. Okay, so there's BS30. This is BS50. Let's do that one as well. Okie dokie, and this one is 2037 minus 1982. 55 plus 1001, 1056, 1001, 1056, and finally the last shot in this config file is 60 PS60. So let's take this guy. Let's put a comma here so it knows there's a new thing coming. Paste. I'm just gonna align these. Doesn't really matter actually, but it's good for visualization. All right. Let's put the 60. Okay, and let's do our frame ranges too now, and then we'll launch Houdini after we write our plates out. Okay, so if I go in, here's my calculators here. Okay, 2420 minus 2013, 2314. That's 106 frames. 1001 plus 1000 plus 1001 is 1107. Okay, let's say this. So our config file is done. Now, what I need to do is what I'd like to do is actually is to write out. Let's say this project. Say project S, and I'm gonna put this in here as well. We're gonna name this. It's not here. Sorry, this is the wrong folder. Let's not put in the wrong place. It's in here. Edit. Battleship SO. Okay. Now, assuming you're working with EXRs or whatever, I would like to get some nice JPEGs out. And I'll call these camera plates. Okay. And now under each shot, actually, I think we could do that using Houdini. So I have created, sorry, not these ones. I create these empty folders, right? So let's launch an empty Houdini. Okay, let's use these to generate our folders now. So if I say new project and I want to go here, right? And this could be my project path and BS10, that should do the trick. Okay, accept. And I have my folders, right? So then you can just copy and paste all of these in here to create your folders out of the box. Now, I would like to get, I guess we could put this in the video, which is not a video, but, and I'm gonna call this camera plate. Okay, and I'm gonna create a version because you never know. And I'm gonna take that path and create a JPEG out of here. Plate. Actually, we already have the name and the version, so I'm just gonna go dot JPEG. I'm just gonna write this out. Oh, however, what I want to do is I actually want all of these to start from 1001 because I don't want to mess with the framing, the one that I created here, right? So if I go and I probably want to do this then. I go, if I say frame range 1001, well, actually this would be better if you did it that way. This is something I didn't do. It kind of like was a little bit annoying. And if I save this is the thing that I don't know how to do in Nuke Studio. So I think it's just because it's just gonna complain, I believe. Let me see if I can render it. What's it gonna say? Yeah, it kind of like just does the weird thing. I don't know how to set this up in Nuke Studio, so we're just gonna, I guess, open the project again. This I don't wanna. No, I don't want that. Ah, this is broken. Great. It was 1575 something, right? Bummer. Should have done it. Okay. This is here, so I have to find the frame again. 1575, I think it was. And okay, preserved back to its original state. So I guess I can do something like this. If I put a time shift, how do we do this without breaking it? Can I offset the frames here? No, so I have to offset them maybe in Houdini. I can do that. Okay, let's render it. Global. Okay, so it's gonna render this JPEG sequence in here. We don't need alpha. Let it render. Okay, now there's our Houdini. Let's go to open our Houdini and let's start our first scene file. Let's go to your project folder and create here maybe BS0010 B001. Okay. No, what do you mean? Save, work, project. Okay, well, it's saved now. Oh, great. I have an extra file now. Let's try it again. Okay. And let's get rid of that extra file. And we have our sequencer. If you guys are interested in which player I play, so I'm playing, the colors came off. Yes, I know why. I need to fix that as well. Not this one. Let's fix the colors. I'll set this to sRGB, render again. Okay. And let's play this again. Now not washed out. now the colors are correct. I'm using DGV frame player. You could get that from darbyjohnston.github.io, DGV, fairly decent player. The old one is a bit more easier to use. Second one is also pretty good. This is the second one. You can play EXRs and everything pretty well, color spaces and all that jazz. Okay, so we have our plate. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is now to basically start setting up my scene. So I'm going to put in a camera. Now remember we did the config file, right? So all I need is, where's my config file? I need to save this config file, right? In its work config, yes. Now, what I need to do is that I need to create a variable that points to this config file. Now you can do it in several ways. If you do it just inside the shot, it will only remember in this shot. But now I'm actively working on this project, which means I can actually go into my Houdini 19.5 config folder, and in the Windows, it's in the under your user directory as well. I can open my Houdini environment file, and I can say, here's my config file. So where's my config file? My config file is here. So I believe I can right click here. No, how do I right click here? Copy path, and I'm going to update my config file here. So config equals quote the path to config JSON file, which is simply put just that. And you can bump in here whatever additional stuff you need. Okay. Save the file. I'm going to reopen Houdini because it needs to initialize. Okay. Just clicked on it. It's opening. Give it a second. Okay. And now what I can do is, if I'm just going to open the script folders here just to give it a go. And I think I have this here. If I have a look, maybe I can steal it from here. So in Linux, I think it's the same in Windows as well. And this part is not is so I use Linux. This part requires a little bit of at least a basic understanding of Python, but I think on Windows it's pretty similar. Probably you'll have to change it to Windows standards, but because now it's declared at the Houdini environment level, if I import OS into Python, which means like load system information, kind of, and then if I say os.environ, and remember I said config equals to something, right? And then if I just, oops, if I just close this code and hit enter, I am writing it wrong. Yeah, square bracket. It will tell me, oh, I found something named config and it's pointing to this thing, whatever this is. Cool. Which is basically this, right? Now we could do a couple things. So let's click a camera using this information. And I can just say, well, I need to tell my Houdini scene what this scene is about. So I'm going to create another variable called shot BS0010. Okay, which the code is going to look for. Not here, go away. Where's the config file? Open here, yeah. Which is the Python, the tiny Python code is going to look for this BS10 key, the value under the shot. Okay, shot is a key, and BS10 is also a key. Brief is a key, and these are the values. Okay, so if I go here now and say set range, it's erroring key error shot It's not finding it. Let's have a double look. Let's debug this now. First debugging starts. Set range line 4. Okay, let's have a look. E should be working fine. Let's have another go. Import OS. Now, this is a JSON file, so in Houdini, in Linux, you need to load JSON, and that's you type by import JSON. So if I say config, and if I say config, okay, and if I okay, reading it, something is finicky, but I don't think so. Um, shot equals OSM1 shot. Oh, it's not. Did I not make this? Oh, I made an alias. All right, sorry. Shot PS10. Okay, that works. All right, I put it in the wrong place. Okay, so let's select the camera. So our frame rate is set based on our config file. Let's make sure that our camera is gonna work as well. So let's select the camera, set cam. Now set the render camera. Our resolution is set as well. Obviously, we don't have keys now, but we have a background image plane, and we could also automate that, to add the background image plane. PS10 render, that not here, sorry. The project SO10, and we wrote on the video camera plate. Okay. Now, this is not going to show anything because it's looking for frame 1001. I guess we could just do, if I go here, what is the 15575? So we can just probably do here plus 574. Okay. And now we're getting a double lot. Okay, that's important. So right now, actually, this is a good example of talking about the LUTs. Right now, we are looking at, so we basically wrote out a JPEG, but our Houdini um, viewport is set to ACES. Okay. Now how can I do that one? Actually, it's not that bad, but I think it's worth investigating. So if I go outside, let's go in here. Actually, this should have worked. Let me double check. So this is what I'm seeing in ACES. Okay, I'll probably have to get back to this one. We're not going to use it. No, it's that important, but it's important for kind of like animating it properly. Um, let's leave it as it is now. So where's our boat? Let's bring in our boat. Let's talk about the boat. This is our USS Missouri. I'm going to copy this USS Missouri into, well, actually, I'm going to open the first shot because this is animated. And I'm going to bring in our USS Missouri that is animated into our shot. So I'm going to give you these files, obviously. You could use whatever ship you want. So our camera is inside. Now, clearly, we don't have the camera keys as well. But if we go here, and I'm just going to copy this as well. I'm going to kill this guy, paste it, look through the camera. Okay, and I'm going to fix this naming. That's all good. And now let's animate it. It's doing the right thing. Let's put this to real-time playback. Save. Okay. So pretty much we are ready for our first Houdini scene to be set up now. I'm going to stop this video um, and then we'll proceed to the next step. So basically in this shot, I want to kind of like in this episode, I want to explain you kind of like how we're going to what is it? We created a config file. Why? Because we want to keep the frame ranges intact, and you could also put some brief here. Like ship is going through the thing, ship is firing. Um, you could do many other things, and I'm in the next tutorial, in the next episode, I'm going to show you. We will start by explaining briefly on how to build these tools. Remember, this is not a Houdini extensive Python tutorial, but it's kind of like a little bit of detail to kind of get you going on how to set attributes, how to read files in Python, and how to set attributes of objects inside Houdini. Um, Very basic level Python, but that should get you started as well. Okay, and yeah, that's the end of this chapter. Thank you for watching.